It's been over 20 years since Street Fighter's greatest rival has stepped into the ring. That's right, fighting game fans, SNK has finally listened to our cries, and a true blue sequel to Garou Mark of the Wolves, also known as the last Fatal Fury game, is finally here. And oh boy, they put a lot of work into this game. The visuals are dripping with style, the animation looks fantastic, and gameplay looks solid, and my fingers are itching. So without further delay, let's step back into the ring and take a first look at Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. As a quick recap, back in the early to mid-90s, Capcom and SNK dominated the fighting scene. Capcom with Street Fighter, and SNK with their Fatal Fury series. The rivalry was so intense that fans back in the day would argue as to which fighters from which series would be better. Ryu versus Kyo, Ken versus Terry. Our chance to answer that question came in the forms of Capcom vs SNK 1 and 2. And boy, did those games turn out great! More on those games in a future video. It's been 25 years since the release of Garou Mark of the Wolves, so what has SNK been doing all this time? Well, SNK kept releasing new games under the King of Fighters series, with varying degrees of success. King of Fighters, by the way, is also part of the Fatal Fury series. Their last KOF game, KOF 15, was criticized for its poor use of 3D models, among other things, but still managed to gather some love for its gameplay. They also released a new Samurai Showdown game back in 2019, which was received much better. And now it looks like SNK is finally putting all the 3D modeling practice from KOF and Samurai Showdown to good use, because this game is beautiful. Especially when it comes to the actual in-game models themselves. Compared to the last KOF game, these models have way more detail and depth to them. The game also makes heavy use of the halftone aesthetic you would see in old comic books, while splashing multitudes of color and attitude throughout everything. This art style really sets the game apart from other fighting games out there right now. When it comes to actual gameplay, SNK stays true to their roots. This is a 4-button fighter. You get a light punch and kick, and then you also get a hard punch and hard kick. That's it. They went real old school because they also brought back the lane battle system. Essentially, you're able to switch between 2 lanes during a fight, allowing you to sidestep and attack from the 3rd dimension. It's an interesting mechanic that I wish more 2D fighters used, although it's only available on one of the stages so far. They also included a new Rev button which allows you to do special moves during certain timings within a match. This addition expands the gameplay and helps it feel more modern. Along with the Rev button, we now also have a Rev meter. It kinda works like the inverse of a drive gauge in Street Fighter 6. Instead of the meter depleting every time you use an EX move or a powered up move, you build up the meter by abusing EX moves and other techniques. If you reach 100%, you overheat, and now you take chip damage and you're not able to use your EX moves until you cool off. This is an interesting way to force players to be more strategic about their meter usage, and I like it. Because the last thing you want to do is spam your EX crawling fireballs only to burn out and get whomped in the face by a flying kick. We also have a new technique called Rev Blows, which are armored moves that build up your Rev meter when you use it. They're pretty devastating, but just like the Street Fighter 4 Focus Attack and the Street Fighter 6 Overdrive Impact, there are ways around them. Another limiting factor is that they're only usable during the SPG timing. Think of SPG as a controlled X factor from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You get to choose when it activates: early game, mid game, late game. If you like going all out from the get-go, you'll set your SPG activation right from the start so you can wail on your opponent like a madman. If you prefer to feel things out, set it to the middle. That should give you enough time to figure out your opponent or give you a quick way to regain control of a fight. Set it to the late game if you want to have one last burst of energy before your eventual defeat. Where you set the SPG gauge will depend heavily on your playstyle, so be sure to try it out and see what works for you. Just like most fighting games out there, you're going to find your usual game modes here. You have your arcade mode, which works just like any other, though the difficulty spikes seem a little random because this game is not going to hold back. Ow! Ah! Come on! Hey, come on, can we talk about this? Tutorial mode does a decent job of introducing you to the game and teaching you the mechanics of the game as well. Though it does lack in other aspects like teaching you when to use these mechanics. Character missions are here to teach you some basic combos, which are super helpful for a noob like me. Just like in other SNK games, you also get the chance to create your own color palette for your fighter. Here's my color swap for Rock. You also have a more bare-bones story mode called Episodes of Southtown. Choose a character, read some text, choose a fight, rinse and repeat. Seems kind of basic, but it does help flesh out the story for each fighter, and it still gives you something to do other than just going back to the arcade mode. You do also get to upgrade your character as you play along, so that's cool. Talking about characters, the starting roster is okay. You get 17 fighters. You get a lot of returning characters like Terry Bogard, Rock Howard, Hokutomaru, Gato, Mai. Oh look, Dong Hwan's back! Awesome. You also get 4 new fighters. Here's Vox Reaper. He's a karate fighter and a street assassin. Cristiano Ronaldo, for whatever reason, is also here. He's a famous soccer player. We also have... Wait, is that Maximilian Dude? Fighting game YouTuber legend? Oh wait, no, that's not him. That's internet personality Salvatore Ganacci, DJ comedy YouTuber extraordinaire. He's been around for a while and makes some amazing content. You should go check it out. And my favorite new fighter is... Preacha, a Muay Thai-like fighter slash scientist. Her playstyle reminds me of Joe, and even other fighters have alluded to her training with Joe. All in all, not a bad cast of characters, I just kinda wish we could have gotten an even 20. When it comes to the controls, this game is tight. Everything responds the way it should, and every impact feels meaty. They put quite a bit of work into the physics of this game, in more ways than one. And the super animations are gorgeous. Everything is exploding with motion and color, and the cinematic feel of it is a treat for the eyes. Honestly, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves can trade blows with the best of fighting games out there. And so far, this game is looking good. It's only been out for a few weeks, and if you pre-order the game, you get the first season of DLC characters for free. So this game has time to grow and get even better. Heck, my boy Ken from Street Fighter 6 is making his way into City of the Wolves in the first season. And I can't wait to finally clap back at this game for mercilessly beating me into the pavement for so long. Fighting game fans are eating well this year, and City of the Wolves is just one of the better fighters released this year so far. SNK is back, and I totally recommend this game for any wolves out there looking for a new fighter to sink their teeth into. And that's gonna do it for this video, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please make sure to slap that like button, mash the subscribe button, let us know down in the comments below. Have you been playing Fatal Fury City of the Wolves? Who's your favorite character? Have you also been getting your butt kicked just like me? Be sure to join our Discord, support us on Ko-fi, and we'll see you next time. Take care.